Good morning. So I'm Rebecca of These Boobs Were Made for Talking, and I thought it would be a good idea to just say a little bit about my story in case you were wondering why I was posting all these quite depressing poems sometimes about cancer. So I'm 45 years old and I live in Hertfordshire. I grew up disabled, which had its good and bad elements. I have 2 children. It took me a long time to conceive the first one. Second one was much easier. I noticed during lockdown, or just before lockdown, can't quite remember now, that I had a little bit of difficulty feeding my then 1-year-old, had some lumps. And I think if it had not been lockdown, I would have gone to the breastfeeding clinic or something like that, or the GP a lot earlier, and they might have said, oh, there's something a bit funny here. As it was, I just didn't feed her on the one particular side, breastfed her on the other side, noticed the lumps, thought a little bit about them while I was actually watching Stand Up to Cancer, and then thought, right, I need to tell someone about this. Spoke to the GP on the telephone, was expecting kind of to get rushed in and examined. She said, oh, don't worry, it's probably just milk ducts that are blocked. You don't want to get mastitis, so you need to massage them in the shower, put a hot flannel on them, and that must be why she's not feeding, because they're blocked. So carried on for a few weeks, and then thought, actually, there's 2 lumps here and they're not going down. So then I did phone again. Then she did see me that day, sent me for an appointment within 2 weeks for a biopsy. But she did very, very clearly say to me, I wouldn't worry about it, it's just procedure, you've got no worrying symptoms, which those words kind of ended up haunting me later on. Went for the biopsy, was examined. They said, oh, you do know you've got a lump in your armpit, don't you? Which is kind of a signal of a bit more dangerous spread. Very quickly, lots of hugs, lots of, are you okay to drive? Lots of, we'll send you the results, but you could kind of tell from their faces what the results would be. So a couple of weeks later, this was July 2021, so kind of when things were getting back to a little bit of normality in the summer, got properly diagnosed, started chemo, had 6 sessions of chemo. I couldn't do the full 8 because my chest got too bad. Had a pretty horrific time with symptoms and kind of recurring illness for almost a year, chest infections and stomach bugs and various things. Had a mastectomy in January, which coincided with my daughter's 2nd birthday, which was pretty hard going, and had a long period of just constantly being ill and really struggling to do very basic things like go up and down the stairs, go out, do the school run, kept bumping the car, kept crying all the time, really struggled. Got diagnosed in March following a sort of routine checkup scan after the mastectomy and with secondary cancer, which showed it was in my bones, which apparently is not the worst it could be and might give me quite a long time living with it, but obviously means I'm on lifelong treatment. I have to take a lot of medicine to counteract the side effects of the treatment. Again, had some problems with my chest, so I've had quite a lot of changes of treatment, but currently things are pretty stable and I'm probably as good as I'm going to get. In the summer I went on a hospice course about well-being, which I was not that impressed about. The idea of going to a hospice and meeting a load of ill people, but it was actually fantastic. Gave me loads of tools for coping with the illness and gave me a journal, and I started writing poems, and I haven't stopped, and I've now got about 60 poems, and they just are just bubbling up in me all the time, especially at night when I should be sleeping. I find they just give me an opportunity to get down what I'm thinking, and they get it out, and then I feel better because it's not burning a hole inside me. And I think 20 years of teaching, mainly English, means I have a reasonable amount of experience of how to write and what good writing looks like. So hopefully that is helping the poems to be well received, and I hope you enjoy listening to them and reading them. If you do, for my own vanity, I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and also subscribe to my Facebook page, and they are both called These Boobs Were Made for Talking. Thanks very much for listening.